Dear learner, welcome to Orbit course at IIT Delhi on emerging trends and technologies in library and information services EDLIS. Topic of my presentation is open educational resources, issues and context. Myself is Dr. Anup Kumar Das, documentation officer at Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. So, what are open educational resources? We are also calling them OER. Open educational resources or OER are those teaching and learning materials that are available to anyone free of cost and under an open license to allow others to retain, reuse, revise, remix and redistribute them with few or no restrictions. So, we are coming across different related terminologies such as open learning or open courseware, open textbooks and similar others, and open educational resources are also part of open science. So, when we are developing open educational resources, we are contributing to open science movement. So, open educational resources are also contents include full courses, course materials, modules, textbooks, streaming videos, tests, software, any other tools, materials or techniques used to support access to knowledge. So, that is the definition of Hewlett Foundation. So, what do they include? OER include textbooks, online tutorials, lecture notes, lesson plans, slides, handouts given to students, videos, podcasts, diagrams, entire courses and any other material designed for use in learning and teaching. So, we also come across open courseware, open textbook, open learning materials. So, who are the stakeholders in this domain? Stakeholders of OER include teachers at all levels of education, that is primary, secondary, tertiary, higher education and also research, administrators, policy makers, library and information professionals, civil society organizations and individuals with an interest in promoting access to educational resources. So, we came across the OER which are available in 5R activities format. So, that is when user can retain, that is make and own a copy, reuse, that is use a wide range of ways, revise, that is adaptation and modifying and improving the content, remix, combine two or more contents into one and redistribute, that is sharing with others. So, we have to have these 5R activities with OER, so that can be open content. So, to what extent are teachers trained in reusing, revising, remixing and redistributing OER? So, there is one survey conducted by Commonwealth of Learning in 2016 and they published one document called Open Educational Resources in Commonwealth 2016. So, it came across different findings, that is participation in OER related training activities. So, 64% in vocational institution. So, that is all the teachers are active in, 64% teachers are active in using OER. 54% open university teachers are involved in OER activities. Highest consumers of OER are 47% of respondents had not participated in OER training programs. This is a survey based on Commonwealth countries, and training empowers teachers to develop and help others develop OER, which increases OER production. So, there is need for teaching OER to the teachers. So, there are gaps in development of OER throughout the Commonwealth. So, we need to address. India is one of the Commonwealth countries and India is also part of this survey. How have institutions taken advantage of adopting and sharing OER? So, OER easiest to adopt and reuse, 76% text materials are being reused and adopted, 54% of lecture notes and 53% of slides are being adopted and reused. And these are easy to adaptation. So, which are the preferred formats? 85% respondents said that Word is the preferred format, then PDF, 52% respondents said that PDF is the preferred format, and 21% respondents said that HTML is the preferred format. So, most important factor for adopting OER, 62% said that those are easy to download. So, what are the tools used to locate and retrieve OER? So, many tools are available online such as OER Commons, Wikipedia Commons, and Commonwealth of Learning's Directory of Educational Resources, DOER, and also Google search engine and other search engines are also being used for discovery of OER. So, there is also most difficult task, that is finding OER, that is 46% open textbooks are not easy to find, and 40% of course modules are not easy to find, and 39% videos are not easy to find because of some indexing or keyword related issues are involved in those textbooks or modules or videos which are not incorporated, but our learners, they could find OER through different search engines and OER repositories. What are the perceptions of quality of cost and cost efficiency of OER? So, use of OER, 65% respondents said that for teaching and learning they use OER, and 60% of respondents said that to supplement existing lessons. So, OER are used mostly for teaching and learning and supplement existing lessons. 82% respondents said that OER is good and in excellent quality, and these are also cost savings for students, and 56% respondents prefer to check the authenticity and credibility of a material before using it. So, we can cross check the credibility and authenticity of OER material available on websites. So, what are the main barriers to developing, using, evaluating and recontextualizing OER? So, main barriers to use OER are lack of time, lack of awareness and low internet connectivity. So, there are also many other challenges like lack of information on the quality of OER and scarcity of OER in videos and audio format. So, we heard about open licensing. There is one open licensing system is called Creative Commons, and when we have different kind of licensing terms, so most open is CC BY open licensing term, and this only 4 terms are associated with the open licensing compliant with different international OER developers, and some open licensing terms are not compliant and not OER. These are non-derivative or non-commercial. These open licensing terms are not used in OER. So, only 5 Creative Commons terms are used for the open licensing. So, which are the Indian initiatives we are talking about? So, we have many Indian initiatives in OER landscape, so such as ePathshala. So, that is NCERT textbooks are available free in digital version, and 15 lakh students have downloaded ePathshala app. So, that is based on 18 June 2018 statistics, and many of them visits in 1 year has crossed 30 million mark. So, ePathshala is very successful mobile app which can be used for OER, particularly available from NCERT textbooks, and so this is available on Google Play Store, and which is, so there is a link available on ePathshala.gov.in where one can download this app from the Google App Store. And ePathshala, that is also available on Umang platform. Umang is the government marketplace or government e-services platform, and now students and parents can use ePathshala contents to get access to various ebooks, teaching instructions, audios and videos by using Umang app. So, this is a platform of Digital India. So, there is also another OER initiative from Government of India. So, that is called National Repository of Open Educational Resources or NROER. So, that is a platform to collect or provide digital and digitalized resources of school education and teacher education across India. So, these are mainly used for the primary and secondary and higher secondary, senior secondary kind of schools for educational objects. So, NROER launched on August 2013. This platform is a collaborative platform provided by Ministry of Human Resource Development, which brings together everyone interested in school and teacher education across India. NROER is a comprehensive digital repository of resources that can be used by teachers in the teaching and learning processes. The idea is to make a variety of resources available to teachers. So, which are the varieties? I said earlier that textbooks, audio visual materials and different learning objects. So, there is also another OER initiative which is called ePG Pathshala. So, that is a gateway to all postgraduate courses. Those are used in tertiary education, higher education for the colleges and universities. So, in every discipline, so ePG Pathshala has some courses available online. So, there are 23,000 e-text, 23,000 videos, 5,000 experts are involved in developing these e-text and videos, and 30,000 quiz and about 723 papers in 70 subjects. Now, we also come across different OER initiative in technical education. National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning or NPTEL is one such initiative which was launched in 2003, and this was initiated by 7 Indian Institutes of Technology, namely IIT Bombay, Delhi, Kanpur, Kharagpur, Madras, Guwahati and Roorkee, along with the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore in 2003. And in this first phase, 5 core disciplines were identified, namely civil engineering, computer science and engineering, electrical engineering, electronics and communication engineering and mechanical engineering. So, in this phase 235 courses in web and video format were developed, and in phase 2, which started in 2009 and ended in 2014, an additional 600 web and video courses were created in all major branches of engineering, physical sciences at the UG and PG level, and management courses at PG level. So, it carried out improvements such as indexing of all video and web courses, and keyword search is also introduced in phase 2. NPTEL began offering online courses or MOOCs in March 2014 along with certifications for those who completed the courses successfully. So, you know about NPTEL, that is also available on SWAYAM platform, and advanced courses are being recommended by AICTE to be approved as faculty development programs. So, those are also available online through NPTEL and SWAYAM platform, and those are available for the faculties in different technical education systems. So, we also come across one particular website which is called National Digital Library of India or NDLI. This was launched in May 2016 in pilot form and then dedicated to the nation on June 19, 2018. So, this is a national mission project by MHRD and IIT Kharagpur to empower citizens through digital literacy. So, where you can find many learning objects are being indexed in this particular platform. For meta search of Indian OER repositories, I talked about repositories like NPTEL, NCERT e-textbooks or ePathshala, and ePG Pathshala. So, those are all available through NDLI platform through meta search, and those are earlier which are shared were related to conventional learning process. So, there is also another concept is called open learning. So, open learning space also they create different OER materials for open and distance learning students. So, eGyanKosh is a national digital repository to store, index, preserve, distribute and share the digital learning resources developed by open and distance learning institutions in the country. So, eGyanKosh has one web address, that is egyankosh.ac.in. So, we now come across different global initiatives. So, most prolific one is OER Commons. So, that is one particular platform or public library of OER for content authoring and remixing. So, here educators empowering educators to share and improve OER. Since 2007 this website was launched. So, there is another web portal which is called Marlot. Marlot is a free online community of OER resources for faculty and students in higher education from around the world to share learning materials and pedagogy. So, Merlot is also platform for the OER developers where they can interact with other developers for developing any particular OER content. So, there is also wikiuniversity.org which is part of Wikipedia, and Wiki University also gives access to different OER materials available through this website. And there is also Open Textbook Library. So, this also an indexing platform for all the open textbooks available across the world, and it gives access to open textbooks available in different universities or university presses or other academic presses such as NCERT. So, why librarians should know about OER? So, libraries play a key role in creating, curating and promoting open educational resources, which is said by IFLA. So, that is Premium International Institution on Libraries, and they had submitted some recommendations on open educational resources that is prepared by UNESCO and called UNESCO Draft Recommendation on OER. So, IFLA commented on OER recommendation in 2018. Libraries are playing an increasingly important role in the creation, curation and promotion of OER. For example, they can help through the support they offer in building digital repositories and the indexing and cataloging this entails. They also support clearing copyright for the use of such resources and help library users through find and benefit from OERs. So, these comments are made to UNESCO because UNESCO has become an important player in this field of OER. At its 39th General Conference in 2017, a resolution sets out a commitment to set out a recommendation to members on promoting OER. So, in 2017, UNESCO took initiative for promoting OER and they invited their member countries for this promotion. So, IFLA has provided input to this work, underlining the need to ensure that access is democratic and inclusive, that copyright is not a barrier to use and development of OERs, and that policies in place ensure respect of data protection and privacy. IFLA also refers to the role of libraries as curators of OER, underlines the importance of copyright literacy for all relevant actors to ensure confidence in creating and using OERs, and strongly welcomes the recognition of libraries as having an important role in the sector. So, libraries and librarians play very important role in OER landscape because they clear copyright, they train the OER developers related to OER copyright issues, and also help them in curation of OER contents for the wide dissemination, particularly when we talk about different metadata creation of OER. So, librarians help in creation of metadata for OERs before those are launched. So, in conclusion, we can say that libraries have a major role to play in promoting open education, lifelong learning and OER. Librarians have been active in supporting the use of library resources where possible to develop and deliver OER as educators, as curators, as content creators and supporters of discovery. So, librarians play different roles like educators, content creators, curators and supporters of discovery of OER. Curation of content is very essential if we want to develop high quality collections of works that offer real value to educators and learners. Again, OER creation is not enough, otherwise such contents risks lying undiscovered on the internet. So, that is why we need to have OER related metadata creation process, and discovery service of OER is very essential that libraries are well placed to do. So, thank you for your kind attention. If you have any query or any comment on this presentation, you can email me. My email ID is given here. Thank you.